Today's story is about Jacqueline Rodriguez, a young mother of 4, shot in the leg by a stray bullet, yet still finding the strength to stand before a judge. In the face of pain, poverty, and overwhelming hardship, she chose respect, courage, and hope. Jacqueline Rodriguez stood at the defendant's table, her weight uneven on her feet. A fresh bandage peeked out from under the cuff of her jeans, wrapped around a bullet wound she'd received only days before. The judge looked up from the docket, eyebrows raised as Inspector Quinn leaned in to explain. "She's been shot, Your Honor. The bullet is still lodged in her leg." Despite her injury, Jacqueline had come to court to answer for a parking ticket. She gripped the citation papers with trembling fingers, her face pale but resolute. It wasn't about the fine. It was about showing up, doing the right thing, even when life tried to knock her down. The judge asked why the car was left where it was. Jacqueline swallowed hard and explained she was waiting for her older kids to come out of school. In the meantime, she had carried her baby's oxygen tank inside. Her youngest had been born a stillborn, revived only by the grace of medicine, and lived with fragile lungs that required a steady supply of oxygen. That day, she had parked in a prohibited spot, just long enough to make sure the machine was refilled and ready. She looked down at her hands as she spoke, her thumb nervously circling the edge of the parking ticket. To Jacqueline, this wasn't just about rules, it was about survival. The courtroom fell silent. The judge shook his head slowly, taking in the magnitude of her story. He spoke softly but firmly, saying he'd never seen someone show such respect for the law under such hardship. He reminded everyone in the room that some people will invent any excuse to avoid accountability. But Jacqueline, shot exhausted, with 4 children, had come to court anyway. The judge looked her in the eye. "I'm dismissing this ticket," he said simply. Jacqueline's shoulders slumped in relief. Tears gathered in the corners of her eyes, but her mouth curved into the smallest, proudest smile. When the judge asked if she planned to rest, Jacqueline laughed softly. "I'm going back to work," she said. Her boyfriend had begged her to stay home, but she knew the bills wouldn't wait. She needed that paycheck to keep her son's oxygen flowing. She needed her job so her children could eat. Inspector Quinn spoke up, shaking his head in admiration. "You're more of a man than I'll ever be," he joked. The courtroom chuckled, but no one missed the truth in his words. As she turned to leave, the judge called after her, "You are a remarkable human being." Jacqueline smiled, a real, unguarded smile this time, and limped toward the door, her spirit unbroken.